What up, world and universe? It's your boy Lando, St. Lando 1, walking here in Taipei, Taiwan. And I had a thought pop in my brain, and I wanted to share it with you. So the thing is that for the longest time on my social media and stuff like that, I have equated, here we go, my value to certain amount of like view counts and likes and comments and everything else. Though those are important, but it was, I would say, a very interesting shift within like the last couple weeks or so. Or I've kind of like flipped that on its head a little bit. Okay, actually a lot. And I came up with it. So if you have a like, that means you're like, yeah, I agree. If you comment, then you're like, okay, let me get in this conversation / whatever he's talking about type of stuff. Now, if you subscribe or follow or whatever platform you're on, and you're like, yeah, I like this guy's vibe going on here, so I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna see what he has to hear him out for a while here, and that's something very interesting too. That a lot of people take the time to follow me, and I definitely appreciate that, because I do say some very interesting things every once in a while, and actually, like, some of the videos that I didn't think would do very well are actually some of the ones that did the best, which is probably like whatever I was talking about resonated with more people, at least on that particular topic, which some of them are kind of random, which is super interesting, but it is what it is. Then some of the ones that I'm truly passionate about and care about are the ones that don't really get the views, which can be frustrating at times a bit, because like I know that the message on those is like way more important, but a lot of people are not really into certain things that I'm really passionate about. So those view counts and the comments and the likes don't really like go up a whole lot, and I kind of get like, I'm kind of bummed out a little bit, because of I know like some of those messages and videos could actually like change people's lives. So whenever they don't do well, I kind of a little bit heartbroken a little bit, but I understand. A lot more people are into like not energy work and esoteric stuff and trying to improve their lives. And I know, in fact, like many people just want to like, numb and try to just get by in life. I mean, and that's the mass majority of the world, which is quite sad. And though I wish it wasn't like that, but it is what it is, and accepting what's going on it's heartbreaking sometimes. So, and that's the thing though, is when, and I think that's the other thing too, is like there's a lot of, but it is what it is. Sure, mic's on. Yep, mic's on. Okay, so it is what it is. I know a lot more people, like how I used to be, is that way more people are into the 3D world, which is like video games, entertainment, movies, Netflix, Polymart, gambling. But definitely don't recommend that one per se, because that one could get you in a lot of trouble. But yes, but on top of that, there's just a lot of things going on that, how can I say this? Um, yeah, there are just things out in the world that I would like people to be aware of and to bring attention to. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. It's because sometimes we're not aware of a lot of things happening in the world because we're too busy trying to either get by or survive, basically. And we think that's all normal, and we just kind of go through our whole lives just self-suffering, but then we want like, maybe it's that. It's maybe the culture of suffering from like, yeah, it's just like your family suffered, the whole family line going on here, alcoholics, smoking, like you name it, and then eventually, like, at least one person in the family is like, I'm not doing that anymore, and then you're like, changes the whole trajectory. And yeah, it's very interesting on how whenever you start becoming like successful or gaining momentum and attention, that the haters start coming out, which is super interesting on that. But that's tells me more about like the person that they are versus what I am. Yeah, it's super fascinating because a lot of people that I would say like want to see some of the more, how can I say this, more materialistic stuff, like the Gucci bag, the Gucci flops, all the designer stuff, like all the anime, all the manga, like a lot of that stuff. Like, it's fun, like I'm not gonna lie, like being in Japan, being here in Taiwan, it's fantastic. Like, I'm not gonna lie, but like after you get a certain point in life, and or some people don't get there, but and that's no hard diss or anything like that. It's just a thing that that eventually, like once you become, I wouldn't even say enlightened. I would say like you're looking for like a different path in life. You may have to give up the video games or the manga or the anime or other things too. Like on the other side is like, is that maybe becoming like a better person, you may have to like be able to trust people more, and that can be extremely difficult, especially if you've been hurt a lot by like family members, school, society. Yeah, it can be very difficult. And also too, as well, is that a lot of, especially in the love department, like that's been in relationships. I would say that's even been on the forefront of a lot of people more recently, and like across the board. It doesn't matter where you're at in the world currently. Is that we're in the shift right now that what used to happen is no longer available. I'm just being real, like 100% real. That once you get, I would say if you're like born after the 2000s or somewhere between like in the late 90s, like things in the relationship game really changed. And that's what a lot of like old people don't understand. There we go, we got hat blowing here. So, and that's the thing, is like a lot of old people, or even late millennials, Gen Xers, even boomers, like, well, unless you're like recently divorced or been going through like relationship issues. And I think that's the thing, is that a lot of people more, I would say more now, are starting to raise their vibration going on here. But I would say becoming more aware of what people are actually consuming, whether that's like television, Netflix, phones, food, being around certain people, certain environments. Like, it's super interesting, and that's also why I feel like divorces are going up. Part of the reason, not all the reason, but at least some of the reason, is that there's a frequency and difference between the 3D and the 5D, or the 4D even. And this is just like levels of like how people are in their current life situation. Because also too, like whenever you, like, for some people, like whenever they get married or have a relationship, that is, this is kind of like mind-boggling here, is that like the relationship or marriage that you got into, or even having a kid, was the frequency or the amount of like level you were at the time. And that could be good, bad, whatever. It was at the level that you were at the time. And as you like progress through life and change, I think that's the other thing too, is like change is inevitable. And the relationship or marriage that you've initially got into was here, but now you're here. And then the difference is maybe like one partner didn't change in the relationship over time, or things became too great in changes between a person to person. Also too, like there's a lot of other factors that go into it, but right now I'm on the kick of there's a big difference in people's like resonance and frequency that causes a lot of these breakups and issues. And yeah, people just need to heal a little bit more, and not get into a relationship because of maybe not neediness is, well, okay, maybe for some, yes, but maybe for, and that's the difference right now. We got like people going on the opposite extremes where they're just not doing with either side, and that's just like a cop out, or like a defense mechanism of like not working on yourself. Is that, what I mean by working on yourself is that you don't really dig into why or how things progressed and got to the point that you're at now. You just kind of like shove things off, and then also engrossed in, or you do hobbies and activities that distract you from like becoming familiar with yourself, and then you kind of wonder why your life's been up and down for a long time, until you start going back, and because it's not comfortable. I'm not gonna lie, it is not comfortable working on yourself. It is probably the least like entertaining way, but it can also be the most satisfying and fulfilling thing to actually like get in deep. But most people are not that deep. Haha, that's what she said. But yeah, and that's the thing, and that's been part of the issue on the split on why certain people and certain groups are freaking out because of changes going on. And a lot of people's like nervous system and like overall frequency is just not high enough. So a lot of people are panicking right now, and don't know what's going on, which is kind of unfortunate that you're kind of getting the message in the news now, literally. But that's the thing though, is like a lot of everything in this world is like energy and resonance. And unfortunately for many of us, we are constantly bombarded by negative and lower vibration stuff, which if you're someone like me, you can actually like sense all the energy around me. Like the area that I've been walking through, or keep changing, I can feel each energy changing. Like it's quite nuts. And it can be a little overbearing sometimes. So I'm working on it, but like each store has a different frequency, each block has a frequency, each store has a number frequency going on here, a residence. So yeah, it's super interesting going on here. But yeah, if you like the content, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, do what you got to do to get the message out to other people. I appreciate you. I love you. And your boy Lando out on this one. Peace.